legal action is just around the corner as the next move in golf's new war after players declared they did nothing wrong after the PGA Tour members. Why was this? They simply joined Greg Norman's LIV Golf. Their behavior went against the tournament guidelines, and well, when you do that, there are bound to be consequences. What went wrong? Is there any solution to this? Without further ado, let's discuss these details. First of all, let's talk about the fact that the players who joined Greg's LIV Golf were banned. The former US Open winner, Graham McDowell, said that they've spoken to the lawyers after the opening round of the first LIV event in London. During this, the PGA Tour brought down the hammer and announced bans on players. This included defending Australian Open champion Matt Jones. An open divide was created among players who took huge sign bonuses from Norman and others. Reportedly, some players who were loyal exceeded $100 million. Rory McIlroy was among the players who backed up the PGA Tour's action, saying that this will also fracture the game. Doing this was the right thing because these guys have broken the rules and done things outside the tournament rules. Due to this, there are going to be some unpleasant outcomes, but it comes off as a shame because it'll impact the game. The professional game is the window shop into golf. If the public ends up being confused about who is playing where and what tournament is in a certain week, it becomes annoying. Until this happened, everyone was on a pretty good trajectory, but moving forward, cohesion is super important. And now, Davis Love III has a solution to fix this mess. The LIV Golf Invitational Series has brought a huge divide, and Davis Love III has a remedy to fix it. The Gold Hall of Famer, in an interview with Sports Illustrated, expressed frustration over how LIV is plucking games from the PGA Tour and disrupting the game. He recommended that they may see a state of affairs where gamers boycott a serious championship. This will be done to encourage golf's governing bodies to ban LIV gamers from competing in them. Here's the biggest lever, and it's not a nice one. What if a group of veterans and a group of top current players align with 150 guys on tour and say, we're not playing? This should solve the problem, right? If the LIV players decide to compete in the US Open, the others should just say that they are out of the tournament. If they sue them in court and they win, withdrawing is always an option. So this will lead to the US Open being canceled altogether. This move is just like a baseball strike. The tour has issued indefinite suspensions to gamers collaborating in LIV. On the flip, this has made them ineligible to take part in the President's Cup. Also, it hinders their potential to play in the Ryder Cup. This is because the gamers want to earn qualifications by means of tour occasions and be a member of the American PGA. The US Open and British Open have both acknowledged the hot mess Norman has brought on. These main championships still allowed certified gamers to play in their tournaments these 12 months. Next, Love talked to some players and other details. Going back to April, the Masters chairman Fred Ridley stated that Phil Mickelson wasn't prohibited from enjoying as a previous champion. The six-time main championship winner was clearly headed towards signing with LIV, but he was spared. There were a number of messages exchanged between Love and Mickelson. He was finally one of the first gamers to go. Love has tried his best to persuade gamers that they may very well be making a long-term mistake. He's told them that they will be stripped of the opportunity to enjoy any of the upcoming cups. He asked them to reconsider, and this would be a downfall for the golf community. So did this work? Well, some of them understood this, and some of them thought that they were going to court. They may prevail, and they might get to come back, but we'll have to see. They don't seem to understand that at the end of the day, it's the players who make the rules. It is always sensible to strengthen the rules instead of loosening them, according to Love. Davis has a deadline to make his captain's alternatives for the US President Cup staff. It's just a few weeks away. He has to recognize that gamers for each group may probably go away prior to then and after the playoffs of the FedEx Cup. LIV is scheduled for 2 occasions in September. This will be earlier than the President's Cup. Now on to other news. Firstly, Tiger Woods turned down LIV Golf's offer. Greg Norman revealed that Tiger Woods turned down an offer of $700 to $800 million to join the new Saudi-backed LIV Golf Series. A lot of top players have joined the breakaway tour. Woods, at the last month's Open, said that he disagreed with all of this. Norman confirmed in an interview with Tucker Carlson that the 15-time major champion was offered a lot of money. Tiger is a needle mover, and everyone in the golf world knows that. So it's not shocking that anyone would need the best of the best. Also, Greg approached Tiger even before becoming the CEO. The American maintained his allegiance to the PGA Tour. He said that he doesn't see how this move is positive in the long term for a lot of these players. What if at some point they stop getting paid? What if the series fails? What then? There are a lot of potential risks involved. Greg has made mistakes and has done some things that aren't in the game's best interest. He, on the other hand, believes that the PGA Tour is a monopoly and they want to shut his series down. The Australian said that they'll use whatever leverage point they can to put an end to this. He's very confident that they cannot be shut down because the product speaks for itself. Up next, Heinrich Stenson's LIV Golf win. The player's shades came off, his arms went wide, and there was a huge smile on his face. This was Stenson's first win in years. He's the part of a huge controversy, and he has inflicted inflicted a lot of character damage upon himself. His decision to join Norman's series, paired with his performance at Trump Bedminster, has delivered him and his family generational wealth. This has obviously come with a cost. He had to withdraw from the Ryder Cup. He also lost his captaincy after deciding to join LIV Golf. The player made an announcement in the press conference that he'll not be joining any breakaway tours. He said on the 18th green Sunday that it's been a busy 10 days. He's been trying to encapsulate the whirlwind that had dropped him in Pastoral, New Jersey. The player is extremely proud of what he did. Anyone who leans towards LIV Gold has to go through a line of inquiry. Morality and ethics, legacy and loyalty, and a lot of other things come under question. He was asked how he could justify his involvement with the Saudi-backed circuit as the country was involved in the 9/11 tragedy. He answered that what he really can say is that his heart goes to anyone who lost a family member in this terrible tragedy. People are disappointed with his response, and also with the fact that he joined Norman's tour after asserting his captaincy so much. Lastly, legendary broadcaster Vince Scully passes away. Scully was just 8 years old when he declared his desire to be a sports broadcaster in an essay assigned by the nuns at his parochial school. He wanted to follow in the footsteps of the men he used to listen to on his family's four-legged radio. Even young Scully couldn't have envisioned what lay ahead. He had a career that spanned parts of 8 decades and had him narrate some of the biggest moments in sports. He went from listening to Barber on the radio to working alongside him. He really dreamt big and ended up achieving his goals. According to him, one should always have the attitude of a reporter and not of a fan. Also, if there's the slightest doubt about your accuracy and fairness, then you're doing it wrong. You can't forget the history of golf without mentioning his name. In 1975, he called his first Masters tournament. He broadcasted Jack Nicklaus's historic win when he edged Johnny Miller and Tom Weiskopf for his 5th green jacket. He will always be tied to the sport due to his years of broadcasting and being a fan favorite. Also, he was a very passionate player, and he considered himself not a good player, but a lucky one. He died on the 2nd of August at the age of 94, peacefully at his home in the Hidden Hills neighborhood of Los Angeles. His legacy will forever remain in our hearts. That's a wrap for this video. What are your thoughts on the drastic solution to Greg Norman's mess? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.